So we're back. Thanks so much for joining us. It's a full weekend, and we want to get started right away. I've got Michelle Tompkins, our wellness manager, here with us today, and we're going to be talking about what's happening this weekend all the way through even Monday and Tuesday.
Correct.
So first up, we should probably talk a little bit about Sunday. There's a matinee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Grand Cypress Room, and it's actually 3 short films by Somerset Maugham that were produced in 1949, and so those are going to be playing for movie buffs. I think that there's going to be some real interest in that, and it gives them an opportunity to see some of his work. He's a very famous director. And then on Monday, there are several events that I know everybody's going to want to plan for. First of all, last year the national parks celebrated their 100th anniversary, and we have a presentation coming up on national parks. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's right. That's going to be Monday at 1:15 in the Social Center. Penny Musco will be here discussing her experiences and her book, Life's Lessons Through the National Parks, and that came out in 2016 to commemorate that centennial milestone as well. So our residents are going to learn about what's the most visited national park, learn about all of her experiences when she's visited and discussed, and learn about all the national parks.
That's great. That'll be very interesting.
I know it will be.
And we're so fortunate as a country to have all of those dedicated spaces that have been set aside so that every generation can enjoy and appreciate the natural beauty of our country. And those national parks are a very important part of who we are. Monday, we also have, this is a great event that Fine Mart does frequently for us, and it's such an appreciated event by our residents. It's a shred event, and it's from 9 to 10:30 in front of the Village Church on Monday. And I think one of the reasons that it's so important that we remind residents that you need to shred your personal information when you're throwing it in the trash. You can't just take those old bills and statements and receipts and things like that and just wad them up and toss them, because eventually that makes its way to a landfill and you don't know whose hands that could fall into. So shredding your information is very important. So that's something that Fine Mart's going to be doing for us on Monday.
You're right. I was just getting in a discussion with my parents about this the other day. In this day and age, we cannot be too careful. We used to, rip them up and throw them away, but like you said, now it makes its way who knows where. So we don't want anything to happen with our personal information. So I love that event. That's great.
Well, we appreciate that. Fine Mark is going to be holding that at the Village Church Monday morning, 9 to 10:30. So everybody has the whole weekend to purge through their residence and find any of those loose pieces of paper that they want to get rid of, and then bag them up and drop them off Monday morning. You've also got an event coming up on Tuesday that you'd like to talk about.
That's right. It's another Wellness Connection program. It's going to be held in the Social Center at 10:15. It's called Assisted Listening Devices here at Shell Point. Did you know that our Social Center, Grand Cypress Room, and even the Village Church, they have assisted listening devices for our residents who have hearing impairment? And those residents are welcome and encouraged to use those devices when we have concerts, when we have speaking events, anything, so that they can be accommodated in a better way so they can hear. And Shelley Rogerson from Beltone will also be at that program, and she'll be highlighting some important facts about hearing impairment and how we can accommodate our residents who have hearing impairment when we're out and about around properties. So.
That's great. We've tried to make so many improvements to try to assist people who are either struggling with low vision or perhaps, as you say, have hearing impairment. And one of the other things that we should probably mention, and somebody even said this to me the other day, Channel 14 is a listing of all of our happenings, our menus, the birthdays, the anniversaries, memorial notices, all of those things on Channel 14. And she said, what's that? That channel is so boring. She said, why do you do that channel? It's so boring. Why don't you make it more interesting? But what I had to explain was the purpose of Channel 14 is specifically for individuals who might want to read all of the information, or for individuals who want to hear it, and perhaps they can't read it because they can't see, but they can listen and they can hear the listing of all the menus, they can hear the listing of all the events and activities for the day. And the team over at ShellPoint TV, they've really gone to great lengths to try to put this channel together and populate it each day with that information. And that's a lot of new work for them, and it's a very challenging task, but they've risen to the occasion. And so we want residents to know that Channel 14 is available specifically to provide that information, and it's very helpful to know that it's there. I think a lot of residents appreciate that.
You're right, it's a great resource.
It is. So a lot of things going on this weekend and coming up in the early part of the week. Plus, don't forget that the show is going to be extra long. Of course, it's going to be an hour for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as part of the show, you'll be able to enjoy some of the segments that we had earlier this week. Plus, we're going to have an extended coverage of the ShellPoint Singers concert, and you'll be able to see a lot more of the music that they presented in their last performance. So stay tuned, all of this and more, and thank you so much for joining us, and have a great weekend.